What's up, Vikings? This is Kaiser the Sneak, and today we're going to be addressing a very interesting topic, which is manners in Thunder Run Racing. And this has been a hot topic for as long as I've played School of Dragons, which has been many, many years. And I've been racing in Thunder Run Racing for as long as I have been playing School of Dragons. So I do have some credibility in the topic, and it's been such a hotbed, especially recently, that I thought it would be kind of interesting to make a video about what you should and shouldn't do in School of Dragons and what you can and can't do, in hopes that there's some clarification, especially for new racers. What we're going to do is for each different topic, if it's legal to do in School of Dragons and Thunder Run Racing, I'll put a little check mark up on the board, or if it's not, I'll put a little X mark. And if it's mixed, I'll put a little null symbol there for clarification. And then hopefully we'll do a little review at the end of this video. But let's get started. Okay, so the first topic is hacking. School of Dragons does not allow you to hack. Now, oftentimes hackers get away with speed hacking, and typically what that is they can speed up their dragon and change the results, change the trophies they get at the end, whatnot, and so. And oftentimes they can get away and not get banned. But you can get banned, and likely after a few years of hacking, you will get banned. So don't do it, don't hack. And so that's definitely a red X. As far as the player base goes, I have not seen anyone besides the hackers themselves, obviously, that support hacking. So the general player base will definitely not be happy if you are speed hacking or hacking of any sort in Thunder and Racing. So that's definitely a red X. The next topic is glitch exploitation. Sometimes there will be, for instance, a wall has a hole through it, so you can just go through it, or there's just weird teleportation glitches or something like that. School of Dragons is definitely a red X for this. They do not like glitching. I've seen several times on the forums where they posted, do not exploit glitches. They do not like that at all. So I don't know if you can get banned for it, but I certainly would not recommend it to avoid any potential banning there that could go on. As far as the player base is concerned, I would say it's probably mixed. A lot of the faster and better racers tend to think that using the glitches are okay, whereas a lot of the slower ones may say no, but of course there are exceptions to that rule. I would say in a general sense, if I had to choose, I would say no, just because glitches are not intended and they do give a rather unfair advantage. So I would say if you can avoid it, I would not exploit glitches, especially since you could definitely get on the School of Dragons admins and devs bad side, and you don't want that. Is using membership dragons okay? Of course, School of Dragons says it's fine. There's no problem with that at all. Using Toothless and Light Fury is just fine with them, so that's definitely a check mark. As far as the player base is concerned, the general consensus is also yes, using Toothless and Light Fury is fine. There are a few people, a very small minority, but there are a few people that think it's unfair because you bought your membership and they can't afford it or they don't have it or whatnot. But I would say that's a very, very small minority. And for the most part, if you're using Toothless or Light Fury, that's just fine. You shouldn't have to worry about that. Next, we have trapping. This is very interesting. You can trap with a box, a upside down question mark box that spins you around for a few seconds, or a giant cloud of gas that'll slow you down. School of Dragons says yes, that's fine. That's a mechanic in their Thunder Run Racing. You can totally do that. So that's definitely a green check mark there. For players, in my opinion, the general consensus is no. Typically, it's looked on as bad sportsmanship, with some exceptions, of course. Obviously, if you're playing with your friends or people you know and you guys are fine with trapping, you can use it. The reason why most people say not to use it is because it's super annoying and gets in the way of people. I guess it's just not, I don't normally like getting trapped, especially if you're really far in front. Like if you're in first and you're really far in first, using traps on people that are clearly not going to beat you is pretty poor sportsmanship, normally, according to people's opinions. So I guess I wouldn't recommend trapping. Obviously, if somebody else is trapping you, or something of that sort, go for it. Whatever, it's a mechanic in the game. You won't get in trouble for that as far as School of Dragons' point of view. But typically, I would just not prefer using it, if possible, when in game. Shooting fireballs. There's a mechanic in the game where you can shoot a fireball at the players in front of you. School of Dragon says yes, green check mark, go for it. It's a mechanic in the game. You're absolutely welcome to do it. As far as the player base is, this is also a no. This is a red X. It doesn't slow you or the other player down. It doesn't do anything at all, and it's just freakishly annoying. So just don't do it. Like, there really isn't a reason. There is no reason to do it. And it just annoys people. Now, of course, you can. I mean, it's a mechanic in the game. You know, you can do it if you want, but you will definitely upset players if you are doing a lot of shooting your fireballs. Hey Vikings, sorry to interrupt this video, but if you're liking this and enjoying this content, please consider liking and subscribing. This helps me out a lot. I'm trying to reach 200 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you wouldn't mind, hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get on with the video. Shortcuts. School of Dragon says yes, that's fine. Shortcuts are fine. As long as it's not a glitch, you're fine to take as many shortcuts as you want. Sometimes there's little shortcuts here and there to get to the finish line faster, get a better time. And the general player base consensus is yes, that's fine. Shortcuts, go for it, find them, learn them, use them. That's fine. Go ahead. That's a great thing to do, and that's part of the ways that experienced players can get a little faster is by finding all of these shortcuts. End boosting. School of Dragon says yes, that's part of the game. You can use it. Green check mark. For the general player consensus base, that is a no. I have not seen a single player that enjoyed other players using end boosting. What an end boosting is, basically right before the finish line, you hit that one last boost and you fly over the finish line. Generally, that's considered that's poor sportsmanship, and you're kind of tricking your opponents into thinking like you're not going to be using boost or you're not going to be doing that, and then suddenly you do it. If all the other players in your race are using boosts, sometimes I may consider possibly using an end boost, but I would just not be against it. I mean, even players that are totally fine with using boost generally consider end boost to not be preferable. I would just shy away from end boosts. You will definitely, absolutely tick players off if you are using end boost. So I would just shy away from that as much as possible. But of course, it is a mechanic in the game, and you can use it if you want. And our last topic is boosting. This is by far the most controversial. As far as School of Dragons is concerned, yep, you're allowed to do it. It's part of the game. It's a mechanic. You won't get in trouble at all for using boosting. As far as the player base is concerned, it's mixed. Every type of Thunder Run Racing player has a different opinion on it. I guess what I will say about it is, my personal opinion is only boost when players you're racing against are also boosting. In general, there's a lot of players that don't want to spend gems or don't have boosts, and they'll just race with no boosts. And so typically, if I see the other racers I'm playing against are not boosting, I will not boost as well, just to make it more competitive in my eyes. And then if other players are boosting, I probably will boost. Now, it is a mechanic in the game, so obviously there's no problem with boosting. I'm just giving you a heads up. If you do boost a lot and nobody else is boosting, you will probably upset a few other players. And there are a few guilds that have entire lists of players that boost, so that their guild members know to stay away from them, apparently. Boosting is definitely a hot topic, and there's a lot of guilds that have rules against boosting. So I guess I would just say, obviously you can boost if you want, go for it, I guess, but in my personal opinion, I would probably only boost if the other people in your race are also boosting. Well, that's all for today, Vikings. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I wish you all the best of luck in your racing in Thunder Run Racing. Party on!